It's a very, very powerful thing to be honest. It's not easy, but it brings you to the truth. So Rabbeinu is saying, "Uchshepogem ba'emet," and when the person is defacting the truth, bichlaliut hagvanin, when he is denying his own beauty, when he is ignoring the beauty of the creation. God made you to be so sophisticated, so wise, so gifted, so talented. You have systems and machines that are working inside of your body, cells and organisms that are working in ways that are incredible. To ignore all of that beauty, that you have those fantastic abilities to see with your eyes, to smell with your nose, to hear with your ears, to function, to walk, to talk, to think, to breakdance. To ignore all of those fantastic things, it's to ignore the Creator. It's just to ignore the fact that the Creator made you so beautiful, so great, so amazing, so fantastic. To ignore it, it's to ignore life. And it's a defect. It's a defect. And then, azay na'aseh miklaliyut hagvanin busha. And then you feel shame. You feel disgrace. You feel bad with yourself. But it's only because you ignore your own beauty. So let's stop doing that. Let's start seeing the truth. Seeing how great we are. When a person is blaming himself and hating himself and executing himself to death with no reason, is just denying the fact that Hashem Yitbarach is choosing to revive you every day, to give you life every day, for a reason. Can you say that the Creator doesn't have a reason to love you? Are you wiser than Him now? He knows the best. He knows exactly why He chose to give you life today, to help you to open your eyes. Uvalav busha, and then he feels ashamed. Hainu aniyut, it's poverty. That's poverty. Feel so poor, so empty, so broken. No, I cannot learn. Like that it's written, Kerum zulut libnei adam, nishtana panav lechama gvanim kichrum. There is a certain shame that a person can feel that changes the colors, the shades of his face. So he's not happy anymore, and he's broken, and he's going with his face depressed and broken. And it's not the truth. And now I'm going to tell you how to climb to that truth, how to understand your beauty, how to reach into that source of purity, of life that you have inside of yourself. The way to do it is to complete the process of tshuva. It's not to give up in the middle. Because like we said yesterday, if you go from point A to point B, yes, it can take you a while. But when you're going to complete that process of tshuva, of that shame, and you're going to clean yourself, in the end, what you're going to see? You're going to see Hashem. I'll tell you something powerful now. We said that if there's an argument or a situation between two people, let's say that I hurt your feelings, and I'm now realizing I hurt your feeling. You're supposed to be upset on me. Let's say you are. And now I realize that I heard it. I heard your rebuke. I listened. I took it to my heart. Took it seriously. I want to work on myself. I'm coming to you, and I'm apologizing. And I'm really apologizing. From the bottom of my heart, I'm saying to you, I'm sorry. I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing. If really I'm going to keep on apologizing, holding that point of truth of doing tshuva, confessing, apologizing to you, express my regret to you, who will feel bad in the end? You. I will feel good with myself. I will feel relief. I will feel good. I apologize. I did the best that I could. And you will tell me, hey, it's okay. I accept your tshuva. If I'm going to say again, I'm sorry, you will start feeling bad with yourself. You're going to start questioning yourself, hey, why I was so hard on him. I wasn't supposed to rebuke him that hard. No, he's a good person. You will feel the shame and not I. Even though that I committed the crime, I hurt your feelings in the beginning, And now because that my tshuva, my regret was so honest, so now I passed the ball to you. And it's not something bad. Just you found also something to do tshuva on. And it's your problem now. With Hashem, with the Creator. That you found yourself too cruel, too hard. And now you start doing your own tshuva. You now start feeling bad with yourself and start trying to think how you're going to fix yourself. And it's a perfect process that your tshuva helped him to do tshuva. That my tshuva helped you to do tshuva. And we're all doing tshuva together. Because that I started doing tshuva on my mistake as a result of your rebuke. Because that I upset you. I hurt you. And now, because I completed my tshuva, so I'm also having that married to fix. And what happens as a result of that? I'm helping you to complete your tshuva. Great. Now, let's upgrade it to the next level. You and Hashem. Not me and you, not you and your friend. You and the Creator. The Creator is rebuking you. He's breaking you to pieces with all of the judgments and all of the difficulties. And He's showing to you that you must do tshuva. If you're not going to give up and you're going to do tshuva, so in the end of that shame, what will happen? You're going to turn the ball over to Hashem. And now Hashem needs to do tshuva. What? Hashem? It's written in the word busha. Busha is bosh Hashem. Hashem is embarrassed. When you're going to finish your busha process, then Hashem will regret the fact that He was judging you, that He was too hard on you, that He was rebuking you, that He brought down the judgments on you. And He will come back to us. Like the Mishnah and the verses are saying, like the Holy Gemara is saying, Shuvu elai v'ashuva elechem. If you're going to come back to me, I'm going to come back to you. Come back. Come back means tshuva. Means that Hashem Yitbarach will say again and again all of those amazing verses that already been said by Hashem Yitbarach. Oy li shenishbati. I regret on that oath that I made, on that decree, that I sent my children between the nations, that I exiled them, that I destroyed the temple, the Beit HaMikdash. Hashem Yitbarach, He already regrets. For us, it's hard to understand. Why it's hard for us to understand? Because we haven't completed our tshuva. But when you're going to complete your tshuva, Hashem Yitbarach will finish His tshuva. He will come back to us. A tshuva doesn't have to be in a sin. We don't say that the Creator is a sinner, chas v'shalom. We're just saying that when we're going to complete our tshuva, the Creator will have to fix His ways and not judging us anymore, and to reveal His loving kindness. And if there's no complete loving kindness today, if still the Creator haven't revealed His kindness on us perfectly, completely, it's because that we haven't completed our tshuva. But when we're gonna do it, He will start fixing His ways of supervising on us, leading us. And it's all written in that word, busha. That busha, it can be my busha, but it can be also Hashem's busha. Because Hashem is embarrassed also. Because a parent that is punishing his child feels the worst while doing it. And for sure after doing it. And he feels a disgrace like the worst parent in the world if his son did tshuva. If his son really fixed himself and now he's apologizing and he's seeing him as righteous, as pure, as innocent, he feels horrible. I remember one time, and I think I told you that once, I think I'm the only person that watched that heard all of my classes. And Yochanan. And almost all of them, Yochanan. Yochanan is the second one. But Yochanan got a quality on me. He watched every video 10 times. I heard them only once. So once I read a horrible book, a book that is a testament of a Jewish woman that she was held as a prisoner, as a prostitute in in the camps in Germany, in the war, in the Holocaust, in the Second World War. And she was a very innocent, pure girl, a virgin, young, 15 years old or something like that, and been held and captive as a prostitute for the Nazis soldiers. And she committed suicide. And it's a horrible book that is describing that kind of death in that kind of life in the camps of death in Auschwitz. And so she's describing what that they went through in their hell. And I was crying that while reading that book, and crying and crying and crying. And then I closed the book and I looked at Hashem and I told him, "What are you doing? How can you do those things? What's going on? You must change the world. You cannot let those things happen again and again." And by the way, it's still happening. Today, it's happening. The ISIS, they're kidnapping the Yazidis, the women, and raping them and selling them. Oh, it's happening in China, in the Far. It's happening, and it can happen also here, under your nose. It can happen in your neighbor's house. It can happen. Those things are still happening, and after crying to Hashem Yitbarach so much on that sorrow, and I was trying to force Hashem Yitbarach to change, not to let those things happen anymore, and I realized that he's not changing. He's not accepting my prayer. My prayer is not powerful enough to change the world, even though that I realized how bad, how awful that situation is. And even though that I believe that he agrees with me and he doesn't want those things to happen, but still my opinion doesn't count enough to change it, and that it will never going to happen again. I realized that while crying and begging to Hashem Yitbarach to stop. And then I said to Hashem Yitbarach, so I'm going to read it to you again. And I punished him. And I read, because I told him, I know you're crying with me. There's no way that I'm reading it and crying and you hearing it and not crying. You're crying for sure. So if you're not going to change your way, so I'm going to read it to you again. And with my cry, with my tearing eyes, with blood coming out of my eyes, I just read those horrific paragraphs again to Hashem Yitbarach. And I had a war with him in that night. I was fighting with him in that night. And I don't know what was the effect of that night, but I know that for me it was a very powerful night. And I'm sure that for Hashem Yitbarach it was also a very powerful time. Because I was very honest. It was a very big pain for me. And also for him. Because he knows all of those things. And we don't understand him completely. We don't really understand Hashem Yitbarach completely. But we do believe in him. To be honest and to find the power to go with the truth all the way. And not to be afraid. And if you feel that Hashem Yitbarach can help you or should help you, you need to go for that. You need to check yourself all of the time because it's a tricky game. Okay, you start rebuking Hashem. Who are you to rebuke Hashem? You start telling Hashem what you think. It's a risky thing. You need to check yourself. Am I honorable while talking to him? Am I really talking to him like you should talk to the Creator, with a lot of shame, with a lot of honor, with a lot of dignity? Or that I'm just cursing and fighting and arguing and thinking to myself like, really, I know what's going on in the world. When you know that you don't know, you're allowed to say to Hashem Yitbarach, hey, I don't know, but I don't understand. Can you please answer my prayers? Can you please answer my questions? That's allowed. That is a good prayer. Even if it leaves you with a huge question mark in the end that of still, I don't know. But at least you were honest and you said the truth. And that's Hashem's desire. If you reach to the level of truth that is beyond this world, and you really know and you feel it, it runs in your veins, that it's all for the good, go for it. It's great. Thank Hashem, bless Hashem, go with it. If you don't understand, you feel like thanking Hashem, go, do whatever you feel like is the right thing for you to do. There's no problem. But just always try to focus on staying honest with Hashem Yitbarach. That's my message. That's the only thing that I'm trying to say all of the time. That we must stay honest with Hashem Yitbarach. Always to stay honest. To say to Hashem the truth. The truth is that I don't understand. The truth is that I don't get it. The truth is that it's very painful for me. The truth is that I cannot handle with it. And I want to change it, Hashem. I want to change. It's an honest prayer. It's a very honest prayer. And that's the prayer that yesterday night I was talking on Facebook, and I was saying to my students, to my followers, to my friends, I said, there is only one reason why you're following me. Why now there are 200, 300 people that are watching me live? There is only one reason. Why? Because of my honesty. Not because that I'm making wonders, because that I'm a Baal Mofet, I'm making miracles to people. No, not because I'm not paying you, I don't give you money, you will not gonna... Nothing. It's only because that you found my point of truth inspiring to wake up your point of truth. You just feel related to my point of truth. And you have that point of truth inside of yourselves also. So that's the connection. So when you touch the point of truth, it doesn't have to be the highest truth, the divine truth, the ultimate truth, the real truth. No. It can be just your truth. And people will relate to it. And that is what the Hashem Yitbarach, He's waiting for. He's waiting for a word of truth. Can you show me that rabbi that is able to tell you the words that I'm speaking to you right now? I never met that rabbi. And I met righteous rabbis and I met holy rabbis, and I'm not saying that I'm better than them. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that I have a certain point of truth that is depend in the unconditional love of the Creator to us. I just remember so clearly where I came from. I just know that Hashem Yitbarach, He loves me, and unconditional love that is not depends in anything, and I know that He loves me even when I'm stupid. I remember myself sitting on a Shabbos table with a wonderful family that were hosting me and a friend of mine for Shabbat in the beginning, early first steps of my tshuva. And we were talking and discussing, and they were telling me that the Torah is the ultimate truth, and that the Torah contains all of the wisdom. And I told them, I think that the Torah is a wonderful book, but it doesn't contain everything. That is a sentence that came out of my mouth. And while saying it, I felt that I'm wrong. But I had to say it to understand that I was wrong. I had to say that the Torah is a wonderful book, but I don't think that it contains everything. Only when I said it, I realized that I never really read all of the Torah, and I cannot really know if it contains everything or not. Only while making that mistake, I realized that I was wrong. And if I wouldn't have that opportunity to feel open and good enough with myself to express my thoughts, I would never realize that I'm wrong. That I'm talking nonsense without understanding that the Torah really is containing everything and is beyond this world, so for sure it contains the world. The world is one letter of the Torah. Like that it's written, Behi Bare'am, that the Creator created the world with the tiny little letter Hey. That's how Hashem made it. All of the worlds with little Hey. Like small h. Small tiny h, with that Hashem created the world. It's crazy. It's wild. So what's all of the rest of the Torah? There is so much more to it. But I couldn't realize it until I was wrong, and I felt that I was wrong, and then I apologized, and then I said, okay, I need to learn more Torah before I will be able to say that the Torah is not including everything, and there is much more to life than the Torah. It was just a nonsense that went out of my mouth. But I had to feel comfortable enough to say my mistakes, to realize how wrong I was. So when we are praying to Hashem Yitbarach, we need to feel as comfortable, even to make mistakes with Him. Even to make mistakes with Him. And to be strong enough to admit and to say, okay, I was wrong. And that's your growth process. That's your development process. That you will stand in front of Hashem and you will be able to say, hey, I messed up. I was wrong. I failed. That's your honesty. That's how you show to Hashem Yitbarach that you are a person of truth. That you are now more mature than you were 5 years ago. That over there, if someone would just tell you a word, you would fight with him and argue all the way. Reaching for the victory that you're so desiring. I must win, no matter what. And that midah of wanting to win all of the time, that desire, it hates the truth. You will lie to win. Because you like to win so much that you couldn't care less. You're going to lie and you're going to steal and you're going to do things behind the back and you won't be honest because you must win. So that desire for victory is a lie. Only when you will want the truth to win, then you're going to win. Because you're going to attach yourself to the truth. And in that level, who is standing? The Creator. Because He is saying that His pleasure, that His happiness is when His children are winning Him. Nitzchuni banai, nitzchuni banai. Hashem Yitbarach is saying that His happiness is happening. The peak of His happiness is when we are winning Him. Because the father that is punishing his child doesn't want to punish his child. He hates himself on punishing his children. Ma lo le'av she'igla et banav, the Creator is asking, Gemara Masechet Brachot. The father that exiled his children, he doesn't have anything in his life. He's empty-handed. He's got a fancy house with a beautiful table and all kinds of food. He's got a private chef. And his children are not coming to the meal. What are you doing with all of the food? Give it to the poor. Give it to the dogs. It's the same for you. If my children are not eating with me, so what's the use? Who needs that meal? Next week he will eat a sandwich. He won't make that meal again. Or if he will sit again, he will sit in the worst depression, in the deepest sadness that you can imagine. Because what a father got in his life if his children are not coming to dine with him, to eat with him. So the Creator that now is punishing, that now is bringing down the judgments on His nation, on His beloved children, on His creation, even when the murderers, the Egyptians murderers that were slaughtering and abusing and raping and killing with no reason, His children in Egypt, took them to work as slaves for them, in slavery, horrible conditions. When they were drowning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Creator, is saying, Ma'aseh yadai tovim bayam v'atem omrim shira. My creations are drowning in the sea. He is rebuking the angels and saying to them, and you are praising me now? He's got compassion, He's got love and mercy also on those murderers, those cruel people that now are running with their spears and swords and knives to kill innocent people. And He doesn't want them to drown. The murderers. For sure that He is redeeming His children. For sure that the innocent people will come to the promised land. And every wonders that they will need, every miracle that will be required for their redemption will happen to them. But I don't want them to die. I don't want them to drown. That is the Creator. That is His way of thinking. Rachamav al kol ma'asav. His mercies on all of His creations. On the predators, on the animals, on the vicious and cruel. He wants everyone to be healed. Okay, so if someone is crossing the line and he is about to kill, he comes to kill you, you need to kill him first. The Creator must put some rules. But that's not His way, that's not His will. That's not His desire, that's not His wish, it's not His dream. What that He wants to happen is Olam Chesed Yibaneh, world of kindness, of love. Unconditional love. Like that love that he knows that he's got inside. And we, no matter how stupid we are, we have it inside of us also. We know that. We know that we are part of that. This is why we cannot cooperate with the world. This is why we're rebels. We're rebelling, we're fighting. We cannot fit into systems. This is why we cannot work. This is why we cannot learn. This is why we are always arguing. This is why something is wrong here, because we cannot accept it. There's a wild story on Menashe, that he was one of the kings of Israel, and he was worship idols, and he murdered maybe 1 million people in his life. He was a bad king to Israel, and he was doing horrible things. And one time he wanted to do the worst thing of them all, something so bad that I don't want to repeat. And his mother, she asked him, "Why are you doing it?" So he answered to her, "Because I want to upset Hashem." So she asked him, "So why won't you do something that will give you pleasure, at least? Upset Hashem in something that will make you happy." So he told her, "If I'm going to have a satisfaction from it, a pleasure from it, it won't be lishma. It won't be completely for Hashem." He wanted to do it for Hashem. He wanted to upset Hashem for Hashem. There are people, and it's us, that their love to the Creator is so huge that we cannot stand this world at all. And we want to destroy this world. And also Menashe, that the word Menashe is similar to the word Neshama. It's the same letters, Menashe and Neshama. He was a pure soul that couldn't bear and stand this world. Because what is this world? This world is a separation for us to be separated from Father in heaven. This is this world. This world is blocking the light of the Creator, and that's it. And the soul cannot stand it. So there are gentle souls that can flow in the stream and say, "Okay, I'm going to find a way how to reconnect myself to the Creator. I'm going to keep Torah. I'm going to learn Torah. I'm going to be a good person. I'm going to put tefillin. I'm going to keep Shabbat. I'm going to eat kosher. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to see the good points." And there are souls that are not able to cooperate with this world and stand the separation from the Creator. And they become bad. And not because that they are bad, just because they cannot stand the constriction, because they're not built for that. Because they feel inside too spiritual to this world. So what they're doing, they cannot put their mind into shul and into the Gemara and to sugiyot and into halachot. So what they want to do? They want to explode the world to pieces. They want to crush the world. They want to tear this covering and to throw it all to hell. And they couldn't care less about themselves. If they're going to be punished, they're just refusing to cooperate with the system. They cannot stand no system. No government in the world, no community, nothing. They won't fit ever. Why? Because there are souls that are not belong to this world. Hi. That's us. We can't fit. We can't fit. We're too big. This world is too small for us. No, even if we're going to receive all of the world, and we're going to ask, and now what? Okay, everything is yours. Which sea can make me happy? Which beach can make me happy? Which boat can make me happy? Which palace can make me happy? Which mansion can make me happy? Which food can make me happy? Me, I'm asking myself, is there any kind of food that will satisfy me? Is there any castle, palace in the world, any fortune, money that will make me, myself, Dror Moshe Kasuto, the stupid one of them all. I will be happy with that. Which car will make me satisfied? Nothing. It's just, what are you talking about? Who cares about those nonsense? It's pieces of junk. It's pieces of metal. It's sand. You're talking about earth. You're talking about water. You're talking about what? Air? Who cares about those nonsense? What's the use? What's the purpose? Where's Hashem? I'm asking you. Who cares? An island. Give me an island only for me. Okay, I finished my 6 hours Hitbodedut. And now what? What do you want me to do on that island? I'm going to drink? What? What am I going to drink to make me happy? What? An old whiskey, old bourbon. It's not tasty. You know that it's not tasty. You drink it when you want to forget your troubles. That's when you drink an old whiskey. It's not tasty. And if it's tasty for you, so something is wrong with you. Your systems are not working right to reject poison. It's not tasty. What are you going to do? Watch another movie? And after finishing eating all of the food and seeing all of the movies, what's the next step? Nothing. It's all emptiness. So we just need to realize we are holy, 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 holy souls that are desiring the Creator from day first, from the beginning of our creation, cannot stand. Every child is like that. Every baby is crying, hey, what am I doing here? What is that hell? When he was 5 minutes before, he was in heaven. He didn't have no limitations. And suddenly, he finds himself in a body. He finds himself need to look for his way out. There's no way out. You need to wait. It's 120 years of a line. And that's it. 7 million people needs to die before of you. And you need to wait. There is a line. There is a list. And he's struggling. Okay, I'm going to hold on. And he's waiting for his day, the last day on earth. It's a curse. The physical world is a curse. So what we have to do, or that you fight with it, or that you're going to try to understand how to go beyond the matrix, to go beyond the physicality of this world, and to reconnect ourselves to the roots of our soul, to the Creator Himself, and to convince Him to bring down more light and more light and more light until the light will wash the world completely, and then it's a complete redemption. That's the Geulah that we're all desiring. The one Creator of them all already connected, wired Himself, plugged Himself to this world. And those channels are the roots of our souls. It's from inside. But we need to focus on it. And with that intention, we can bring down more shefa, more wisdom, more light, more of spirituality to this world. And when it's going to be enough, so it's going to crack the physicality of this world. And the bounty will wash the world. And the good and the purity will wash the world. And that's complete Geulah. That's Geulah Shlema. And that's it. That's it for today. Thank you very much. Chazak.